Hello guys and welcome back to Makeup FOMO. Today we are going to be trying out a whole bunch of new products that I have not tried before. They're all new to me. Some are like new in general. Actually, no, most of this is not like brand new stuff, but it's new to me. I wanted to try it out on camera with you guys for the first time, kind of like get ready with me style. I'm just getting ready for the day. I figure we can do this together, try out some of these new items, and kind of give you my first impression on a bunch of them. So if you are interested in that, then just keep on watching and let's get started. Just gonna put this disclaimer out there before we begin. Yes, I have a cold sore. It hurts so much. It just started like yesterday, so just ignore it. One more disclaimer, I have still a little bit of makeup on from last night on my eyes. I didn't take it off very well. We were at Friendsgiving, we were out late, drinking a bunch of wine, so when I got home, I just pretty much crashed. Wasn't worried about my eye makeup, so there's some like residual on here, but ignore that too. So the first thing we're going to start with to prime is this Pure. It's like a little sample that I just got from Ulta like a couple days ago. And it's the Pure Correcting Primer Prep and Perfect. I've never heard anything about this, and I'm not like a huge primer person, so I don't really care a lot about priming because I never really noticed that it does like a ton. But I definitely can use some smoothing, and I have like some pretty big pores around my nose, like in this general area. So, ooh, this is like very smoothing. It's definitely like a silicone kind of primer, so it feels like it's kind of like slick, you know? I like those kind of primers. If I'm going to use a primer, I definitely prefer it to be a silicone one. And yes, I'm missing nail polish on this finger, and we'll get to that. So this feels so good. I'm going to add like a tiny bit extra to that one area where I just have a ton of pores. This doesn't claim to be like pore filling, but sometimes these silicone ones can kind of smooth over that area. So I'm going to put some more there. This feels so good, guys. Like my face feels like a baby's butt. This feels so good. So obviously we'll have to see how a foundation applies over it and, you know, kind of how it helps my makeup wear throughout the day, but it feels like so smooth. So this feels good so far. This is a good first impression. We'll see how it goes. Next, I'm super excited for this. I have a sponge from Morphe. Morphe is now sold on Ulta. Not every single thing they sell is on Ulta, but quite a bit. And I love trying out new like foundation sponges and brushes. So when I saw this, I was like, this looks awesome. I love that it's red. It's technically the highlight and contour beauty sponge, but you can use it obviously for like pretty much any cream product. It looks a lot like the Real Techniques one in the sense that it has this flat edge, but it has kind of two flat edges, which is actually pretty similar to the Eco Tools one. I have it right here. Yeah, the Eco Tools one is very similar. The Eco Tools one has a longer flat edge, but then it also has the back flat edge. So, I mean, I feel like they're probably just running out of like new ways to make sponges because how many shapes can it really be? So, yes, this is from Ulta. This retails for, I think, like $7. So, it's one of the most affordable brushes there is. So, this is it dry. I didn't get it wet yet. It's like definitely pretty squishy. Like, it feels soft, but it's not like the least dense. Like, it has a little bit of firmness to it, but I just wanted to show you guys it while it's dry, and then I'm gonna go get it wet so we can see how it compares in size. Okay, so it definitely got bigger, and it's pretty squishy, but not as squishy as some sponges I've used. It's definitely got still a little bit of density to it. It's very soft though, like it has a very soft texture. So we're gonna test this out with the e.l.f. Flawless Finish Foundation. I hauled this in my most recent like fall haul. If you haven't seen that, I will link it down below. It was a long video, but it was a lot of fun and there was a ton of stuff in it. So if you like hauls, you would love it. But I got this in the shade Sand, and I've heard a ton of really good things about this. This is not super new. This has definitely been out for a while. I got this from the e.l.f. store. This retails for $6, so it's definitely a super affordable foundation. It has like the frosted packaging, which I like. Has a pump, which is super handy. And I'm hoping this shade's gonna match. They don't have a ton of shades in this, so we're just gonna have to see. And I don't know if it's going to be best applied with the sponge, but that's what we're going to do today. And then if I don't like it with that, then I'll know to try it with a brush next time. So let's apply this. It smells good, yo. So I'm just going to start by putting a pump out on my finger, and then I'm just going to put some on my face, kind of spread it all over, and then use the sponge to blend it out. I'm going to use like the bigger flat edge of this rather than the smaller edge, and then we'll see how that works. Oh, actually, these are both the same size edges. I thought one was bigger than the other. No, they're both the same size, so whatever side, they're the same. This looks like almost a perfect match for me. What would you say? This sponge is like it doesn't feel hard on your face. Like, it feels soft on your face, and it doesn't seem like it's absorbing like any product. Like, look at this. I mean, you can see a little bit of residue on it, obviously, but like, you see like the main part of the edge that I'm using? See how there's like, it looks still like the same red color? It's not getting like super, super saturated with product. So it doesn't seem like it's absorbing a ton or like any product, because normally, you know how sponges get, they'll get like super soaked with the product and like the whole top part will be like the same color as your foundation. This is not doing that. And if I can get a sponge that doesn't soak up a ton of my product, I'm going to like it. Okay, so that one pump got pretty much the whole half of my face. I need a little bit up here, but it covered my whole cheek, eye, under eye, and then a little bit of my chin over here too. And I definitely like the way this applied. This is just like so squishy. I just want to keep like playing with this. But this applied it super well. I definitely have like a pretty luminous, you can kind of see the light reflecting off it. It's definitely a pretty luminous finish. I wouldn't say in terms of the foundation itself, it's definitely not the most full coverage, because I have a little blemish right here and it's definitely still peeking through a little bit. Like, I would probably want to conceal that. But it definitely evened out my skin tone and covered, you know, any of the discoloration that I had. So I think that the coverage is enough for me. I prefer like a medium to full, because I don't have a ton to cover, so I don't mind if I have to conceal a little bit. But I love the luminosity. That might also be partly because obviously the sponge is wet, but I do like a little bit of a more dewy finish. And in terms of that primer, I definitely feel like my foundation looks very smooth over the area that I put my primer. You can still see my pores a little bit, so it definitely didn't like fully conceal them, or it didn't fully fill them in. But I think that it looks really smooth. It looks good under my eyes. I definitely think this is nice, and I think the shade is like spot on. So I'm going to go ahead and finish applying it to the rest of my face. Do you guys just love that sound? Like, when I watch foundation videos and I can hear the sound of like a sponge like pouncing off of someone's face, that's weird, right? But I love the sound of just like a pouncing sponge. Comment if you notice that sound and if you like it, or if you don't like it. I'm just curious. Okay, so foundation is applied all over my face. It looks so good. I love the luminosity to it, and I'm serious, guys, this sponge didn't absorb like any product. You see how it looks? Like, it barely even looks dirty. Like, it looks like it got a tiny bit like right up here, but in general, like, it barely looks used. So I feel like this didn't absorb a ton of it. 2 pumps was enough for my whole entire face, which is really great. I'm going to do, of course, concealing under my eyes and over here on that little blemish. But overall, I think that this foundation looks great. I think the color is awesome. So if you're near to my skin tone, sand would be good for you. I definitely like this foundation, so I think this is so far so good. And I'm like obsessed with this. I love this so much. So we're on a roll so far. Let's go to concealer. So the concealer we're going to test out today, I'm so excited to try. It's the ColourPop No Filter Concealer. I've been wanting to try this since these came out, but I just never got around to ordering it, and I do have like a ton of concealer, so definitely wasn't necessary, but I've heard such good things from everyone that's tried it, so I wanted to give it a go. I got the color light neutral. Wasn't exactly sure what shade to get because they do have quite a few shades, and a lot of people were saying that it oxidizes. But I didn't want to get like the lightest one because I really don't like having super highlighted under eyes. I like ideally being able to use the same thing under my eyes and the rest of my face. So I thought light neutral, which I think this is the 4th darkest shade, would be good for me. This is the packaging. Let's see how it performs. So here's the applicator. Definitely a doe foot. It's kind of like a big doe foot though. Can you see? So I'm going to apply this under my eyes, on any blemishes. I definitely am not one of those people that uses like a ton of, wow, this is light. Okay, I'm not gonna put it on the blemish yet because I wanna see how light it is when I blend it out, and if it oxidizes. I just use my finger to blend in concealer, so, and I'm not flicking you off, I just like to use my middle finger, so let's see. Okay, so this is like very light. This is way lighter than I thought because this is the 4th shade, and everyone said like it runs a little dark and it oxidizes, so go a shade lighter, which is what I did. I don't know though, it's not bad. It's definitely really light. Like I just said, I don't really like a super like bright under eye area, so we'll have to see what shade this turns into, but the coverage is really, really good. Oh, I already put some over here. I would have done like a little comparison, but it definitely seems to be really full coverage. You can't see any of my like dark circles anymore, so I think it definitely did the job. It doesn't look dry. It doesn't look patchy or creasy. It was pretty creamy and easy to blend in. You can definitely tell it has good pigmentation because when you start blending it, it doesn't like kind of start disappearing like some concealers do. It looks very good so far. I'm just not sure about this shade, so I'm gonna blend this in. We'll give it a minute to see if it oxidizes, and then we'll go from there. I actually think it may, you can probably tell right now, it may already be oxidizing because look at this eye, which I obviously did first, versus this eye. This eye looks way brighter right now, and this eye looks bright like right in here, but look, the rest of it looks almost the color of the rest of my face. You see that? So this side's definitely lighter right now. I think this will probably start catching up. Let's see. Okay, so I just didn't have a new concealer for just my face, so I just used one of my regular concealers to conceal my blemish. And I gave it a little time to oxidize. I definitely think that the sides have kind of caught up a little bit. And I think that the color now is perfect. Like, it definitely looks a little bit brighter than the rest of my face, which is totally okay, but it kind of blended in now. It's a little bit less of a stark contrast, and I think that the color that it oxidized to is just right. So I think I actually picked a really good shade. It looks very, very flawless. It's creasing like a tiny bit, like right under where my lashes are over here, and a tiny bit over here. But that's pretty normal because I do have like little baby wrinkles right there. So that's okay with me, but otherwise, I think everything looks really good so far. I don't have a new under eye setting powder or face setting powder, so I'm just going to use my normal products. I have my Bella Pierre banana setting powder, and then my Lottie London warm translucent setting powder. So I'll use this under my eyes, this on my face, and then we will come back to test out some more products. I also just really quick did my brows off camera as well. I didn't have anything new to try for those. So now my face is all set. Brows are done. Now we're going to try out the thing that I'm super excited about. This was also in my haul. This is the Model's Own Sculpt and Glow Contour Palette. I did haul this. This is from Ulta. This is my first time trying anything from Model's Own, so I'm so excited. I haven't even touched this yet, but looks like this. So we have a bronzer, blush, and highlight right there. And this is in the medium to tan because the light one just seemed like too light for me. So let's try this out. I'm going to start with the bronzer, of course, in the shade Sculpt. Just look how, isn't there something so satisfying about like powders that haven't been touched yet? Am I the only one? It's like fresh snow. Like, you don't want to mess it up, but you do. So I'm just going to take my Wet n Wild contour brush and bronze up my face. I didn't want to like pick up a ton at first because I have no idea how pigmented this is. I haven't like swatched it. So I just went in with a light hand at first, and as you probably saw, it didn't really come off a ton. So I did my brush back in, but now it is definitely showing up. This is a nice tone, right guys? It's like, can you see it good? It's not like cool tone, like it's not super ashy, but it's also not crazy warm. I do really like a warm bronzer, and I do like an ashy bronzer. This seems just like very, very neutral. That looks good, right? That blended really well. It's not overly pigmented where it's a harsh contour. So there's one face bronzed, or one face, one side bronzed, one side not bronzed. Oh my gosh, I actually really like that. And like, look at the pan. It doesn't even look like I touched it yet. Like, there's no kickback. There's no like dust particles everywhere. It's not indented. It literally looks like I haven't touched it at all. Doesn't forehead bronzing just like bring you back to life? Like, I don't feel completed until my forehead is bronzed. Forehead bronze is what I live for. What's like the one step that you guys don't feel complete without? Like, for me, it's forehead bronzing. Is it like, what is it, lips, brows? Let me know, I'm curious. It's definitely totally matte. There's no shimmer whatsoever. So if you're into a matte bronzer, I think that this would be perfect for you. So now we're going to try out the blush shade. It is called Afterglow. This definitely has some shimmer in it, which is totally okay with me. So let's test that out. I'm going to use my Luxie Precision Foundation brush, which I use this for blush, not foundation. It's definitely not like overly pigmented. You don't have to worry about like doing too much and how some blushes are scary and you can definitely like over apply. This is not that. I had to dip my brush in a few times, and I got, as you can see, like it's not like a super heavy wash of color. It's kind of very natural. Definitely has like a gold sheen to it. Like I can see a gold. You see that? It's definitely got like a golden undertone to it, which I definitely am into. I like luminous blushes. I think that they're really, really pretty and flattering. If you have a ton of texture on your face, especially in that area though, I don't know how much this would work for you, just because it might really kind of accentuate that. You know what I'm just noticing in the viewfinder here? So obviously you have this blush, which is kind of luminous on this side, and this side I only have the bronzer. But do you guys see how like right above, like on kind of where I would put a highlight? I haven't put any highlight on yet, but see how like my face is still kind of reflective right there, and even on my forehead a little bit too. I did powder my face, but I think that this foundation still maintains its luminosity even after you powder it, because you can see it through all the product that I put over top of it so far, which I love. I think that that's great. If you have dry skin, I think this might be perfect for you. For oily, I'm not exactly sure. My skin is pretty normal to dry, but isn't that pretty? I think that's like some more points for the foundation, would you say? I think so. Okay, I'm gonna apply some more blush to this side. Guys, also the mirror in this thing is like amazing. Like, it's as big as the entire top, and it's like a, you know, one of those good quality mirrors. It's very handy. I think if you end up taking this palette traveling, which it would be good for because it's, you know, got 3 products in one, you could use this mirror for your whole entire face. Okay, so that is with the blush applied. That looks pretty, right? I like it. So far, we are batting 2 for 2. Let's just see how the highlighter works out. So the highlighter in here is definitely like a champagne, like a light gold color, which is definitely my jam. But I picked up at e.l.f. actually just yesterday this Beautifully Bare Targeted Natural Glow Stick. So I haven't tried this. This is a first impression as well. And I seen, was it Kathleen Lights? She did like an e.l.f. haul. And I seen her swatch this, and I was like, this looks amazing. This is in the shade Fresh Morning Dew. Oh. And it looks like this. So it's kind of like a chubby crayon type thing. It's kind of like, I guess you could call it a liquid highlighter or like a balm highlighter. But I swatched this in the store, and like, check this out. Okay. So I just put it on my hand right there in the center. See how like it just looks wet? Like, it doesn't look glittery or shimmery, it just looks wet. I'm going to end up using the one in this palette as well, but I kind of wanted to put this down first because I'm just real curious. I want to see what it looks like. Do you think I should like just roll it on, or should I think maybe I should put it on my finger because I don't want to get this like all kinds of gross. All right, let's see what happens. It didn't do a ton. I think I might need to just use it directly from the thing. Let's just try it. Let's go for it. Ooh. Ooh. Does that look good? What do you guys think of that? It definitely like catches the light real well. I can see, I have a window right here, so it's reflecting off it really nicely. But it doesn't, like, you can't see, like, let me block the light a little bit. You can't see like a streak on my face at all. It's kind of like undetectable unless you have light hitting you, and then it looks like, bam. Here, compare. This side, like I said, obviously the blush is pretty luminous, but I think you can definitely tell there's like a pop over here compared to over here. Okay, so you know, I'm just gonna do that one side with this, and then I'm gonna do the other side. I'm gonna top it with the one from the Model's Own palette, and then we're gonna see, like, does this enhance it? Does the Model's Own kind of like do its enough on its own? Let's test that out. Ooh. Ooh. Okay, I see you. Okay, so it doesn't actually come off. Like, in the pan, it looks kind of golden, right? But no, it comes off, like, pretty white, a little, almost like pink toned, which doesn't even really make sense, but okay, yes. So that's that side with the Model's Own highlighter. That's this side with the e.l.f. highlighter. You can definitely tell a difference. Like, you can tell this is like a smooth, like, you can tell it's balmy, and this one looks a little powdery, I think. Tell me if you think so. All right, I'm gonna top the e.l.f. one with this and see what that looks like to kind of set it. Oh, yeah. I definitely think this side is a little bolder. I don't know. Can you guys tell? It's a little hard to tell on the camera, but in real life right here, I definitely notice, like, this side stand out more. But they both look amazing. This highlighter is nice because when I'm looking straight on at myself, you can actually probably even tell. You really can't see much of the highlight. Like, it's not immediately obvious, but then when the light hits it, it like makes an appearance. Is everything awesome so far? I think everything is awesome so far. That's crazy, right? So now we're going to move into eyes. So for the eyes, I'm going to try out this quad. It's called Ice Cream Eyeshadow from Measurable Difference. Yeah, Measurable Difference. So as you can see, well, let me take it out of the packaging. So here is the packaging. As you can tell, it's like baked eyeshadows. So it's 4 baked shadows. They're like, you know, kind of the domed shadows. So they all look like they have some shimmer. This I got from Chrisley Cosmetics, chrisley.com. I was actually sent a few things from them. I'm going to talk about some of the other stuff later on in this video, but this is the first thing that I wanted to try. This retails for $19.99, and they're actually having free shipping on their entire website right now. I will, of course, link this below. I'm going to link everything below just so you guys have easy access to it in case you're interested in trying any of it. But I'm super intrigued by these eyeshadows. I love this pink shade. This looks like a great highlight shade. This is like a navy, and this is like a black. And I think you can make a really cool kind of deep look out of this. So I want to give these a try. They are all shimmer, but I don't mind an all shimmery look. So let's zoom in and get to playing with this. So I do want to stick to just exclusively using this eyeshadow palette. So I'm going to just start with this navy shade and work that into the crease. Oh. It's not like, well, it's not really navy. Maybe I was just wrong. It's actually a little bit closer to like a gray, which is totally fine. It like at first seemed like I didn't get much on my brush, but like look, now all of a sudden there's like a ton. And I did not dip my brush back in. This was like the first little tap that I did. Okay, so that's the gray shade. I swear, this like multiplies. Like when I first put my brush down, I was like, oh, there's like nothing there. And then you start like blending, and then like look, all of a sudden there's just like a ton of product on there. Next, I'm gonna grab a little bit of this pink shade, and I'm gonna put that all over the lid. I'm just gonna use my finger because that's what I always use. This is kind of like almost like a duochrome. Like it looks, I'll get a little closer in a second. It's like pink, but it's like almost like lavender. It's got like a lavender like undertone, and then it looks kind of like a white. Do you guys see what I mean? That's sick. That looks so, that brings so much light to the eyes, right? And that is what I'm here for. And then with my Urban Decay little like flat shader brush, I'm gonna take the white shade right there, and I'm gonna try highlighting my brow bone and my inner corner with that. That's definitely a very like icy shade. I don't know if it's my favorite for the brow bone, just because I don't know, it's like too icy, and it's like really highlighting. I mean, any brow bone highlight would do this, but it's like highlighting the couple of hairs under there that I need to pluck. I like that. And then lastly, I'm gonna take this black shade, which I'm kind of apprehensive about, so I'm just gonna take a tiny, tiny bit on my brush. And I'm getting like a tiny bit of fallout. Can you see? That looks good. That looks really good, actually. And I think this is a perfect black. If you're scared of blacks, you don't have to be scared of this one. But this is the eye look. I like it. It's pretty simple, only 4 shades. The only thing that I will say about this palette, 2 things. I was using my finger on the pink shade, remember? And it almost looks like it's getting hard pan already. I know the bake shadows are kind of already hard pan, so I don't know if that's going to be a problem at all, but that looks like it kind of changed the texture a little bit because I was using my finger and like putting some pressure on it. And of course, it is only 4 shades, so probably like this look is just about the only look that you could do with this. Like, of course, you can kind of rearrange where you put them. You could do like a halo eye or something like that, but there's not like a ton of versatility because you do only have 4 shades, but that may be perfect for some people. And if you're just looking for something quick and easy where you don't have to think too much, I think that this would be a really fun palette to have if you like deeper kind of sultry looks, or if you're looking for some really, really bright shimmer shades. This kind of has everything that you would need, so I would definitely recommend this for sure. So I don't have any new eyeliners or mascaras or anything to try out on camera, so I'm just going to finish up my eyes off camera, and then I'll be right back for lips. Okay, so I just put a little bit of mascara on, and now my eyes are complete. So now we're going to move on to lips, and the lip product that I have to try out today is from e.l.f. This was in my haul as well. It's the liquid matte lipstick in Smoky Taupe. So I like swatched this in the store, and it's like a gray, like kind of a taupe gray, like purple. I think it's gonna be pretty dark and vampy, but that is my jam. So I'm so excited to try this out. And yes, I'm still gonna try it with my cold sore because I'm not letting it stop me from living my life. This is the packaging. I said it in my haul, but I love the formula of the e.l.f. matte liquid lipsticks. They are so comfortable. So, oh, don't you just love when like it's still all fresh and it's not all gunked up from using it a bunch of times? This is the applicator. It's like a doe foot. Wow, there's like a ton of product like clumped onto it, but wow, there's a lot of product on there. So this shade is freaking gorgeous. It is actually just like pretty much a straight up gray with like, it definitely has like a purple undertone. Obviously very, very cool toned, super dark and vampy, but it is, I didn't do a good job applying it at all, but it is so pretty, and I think it actually kind of works out perfectly. I didn't really think of that when I was starting this video, but I think it goes perfectly with the eyes because we kind of have the grayish, like black, smoky eyes going on with kind of like a matching gray kind of vampy lip, and I think it ties together perfectly. Like, I think this lip and this eye were made for each other. And the e.l.f. matte lipsticks, the reason I like them so much is they go on like a pretty like thin coat, but they're pretty opaque, and because they are so thin, like they don't feel heavy on your lips, and they do like set down and they stop transferring, which it'll probably do in like a second, but they don't like start sucking the life out of your lips where you just feel like you want to like peel them off because they're so tight. It's very comfortable. I like forget that I'm wearing it half the time because it's just that comfortable of a lip formula. This is just like a gray lip. I don't know if I would call this taupe. Would you guys call this taupe? I don't really think this is a taupe. So that is it for makeup, but I did want to talk about the couple of things that I got from Chrisley that I couldn't really try on camera because they're not really makeup, but they are like beauty related. I got these two skincare products. This is their daytime age defying serum, and then this is their nighttime deep renewal like moisturizer, and I've tried both of these. This nighttime deep renewal thing I am crazy about. Let me show you what it looks like. So it's a pretty like liquidy consistency. It's not like super thick, and it doesn't really have much of a smell. It's definitely not purposely scented, but this was like kind of earth-shattering for me. I put this on before I went to bed, and I felt very, very hydrated. My skin felt really, really moisturized, but then when I woke up, my skin still felt that way. Like, it definitely soaked in during the night, but when I touched my skin the next morning, it still felt like very, very smooth, very like plump and healthy and hydrated, and like I still kind of had like a little bit of a sheen to like my skin because of how moisturized it was. I've never tried a night serum like this before that actually like stays on all night and into the morning, but I just felt very, very hydrated. My skin felt so good. I actually was really, really, really dry, like right here, like to the point where you could see it with my foundation on, and then I literally woke up and like my dry patch was gone. This worked a freaking miracle. And then I tried the daytime serum, which this just has a little bit of a pump. It comes out like very aggressively, like it shoots really far, so when you're squeezing this out, just be careful. If you try it out, just do it into the palm of your hand and be careful because it'll go everywhere. I'm not like the biggest serum person of all time, but what I do like when I do use serums is that it's very, very lightweight. Like, it's almost like a gel consistency. This doesn't have a scent either, but it's very, very lightweight on the skin. It just kind of glides over, and it does provide some moisture, but it's not like anywhere near as thick or heavy in terms of the moisture amount as the night cream is, but it definitely just kind of provides your skin with a little bit of moisture. That's why it's perfect for a daytime thing. And the best thing about these is that they didn't break me out. My skin is like pretty sensitive and it'll break out pretty easily. Neither of these things caused me to break out, so no breakouts gets these like a ton of points for me. So the brand of each of these is Rederme, but like I said, they're sold on Chrisley.com. These do each retail for $40 each, so they're definitely not like the most affordable skincare, but I can tell that this is like a high-end face product. Like, it really, if you need serious moisture, you need to try this. I think you'll like it. If you have sensitive skin, I think that you'll be fine. Like I said, this didn't wow me quite as much as this, but I did really like this, and I think that they kind of work together. But if you can only grab one, if you're kind of on a budget, which I totally get, try this out. If you have dry skin, this is gonna like save your whole life. And like I said, right now they have free shipping, so you can pick up either one of these or both and ship them for free. And then the last thing I want to show you guys is this New Love 2-color and LED gel nail kit. I've never tried anything gel nail related before, so when I got this, I was so excited to give it a try. If your nails need some love, you gotta try this out. It comes with 3 different nail polishes. These are the 3 shades. There's like a red, which is what I have on my nails, and then there's like this navy color, and then this really pretty like taupe kind of like nude color. They're all gel polishes, and then because it's gel, you need the LED lamp to kind of cure it. So it comes with this really cute heart-shaped little LED, that's how it turns on, little LED nail kind of cooker. And it is so thorough that it even comes with like the buffing nail files. So it has 2 different buffer finishes on that side and 1 on this side, plus like the little cuticle tool. So I use all of this. There are very like thorough instructions in this box to tell you what steps to do first if you're not familiar with gel polish, which I I do know about gel polish, but I've never done it to myself. So I was kind of a newbie to this too, but I used this to like push back my cuticles. I buffed my nails, which I guess is actually very important to get the gel polish to like really adhere to your nails super well. So I did that, and then I used the red color, which is called Radical Red. The navy, or it's actually kind of more of like a navy gray. It's called Mrs. Trey Gray. And then the more like nude shade is Mother Earth. Earth is spelled with a U. So all three of those polishes, the tools and the LED lamp, come in the set. It is $148, so definitely pricey. But I think if you're into gel polishes, this actually would be so worth it for you, because it is going to save you a ton of money at the nail salon if you like the gel polish. So what I will say about it is that it's pretty time consuming. I think the reason it took me forever is because I've never done a gel polish at home before. And there are quite a bit of steps, especially because you need to buff out and then wash your hands and then apply one coat, put it in this thing. I put it in for about 2 minutes, and then you have to do your thumb for 2 minutes, and then this hand for 2 minutes, and then your thumb for 2 minutes, and then do another coat and do the same thing. So it's definitely time consuming, but if you're just having kind of like a lazy weekend or after work and you kind of want to just treat yourself a little bit, kind of have a little me time, little pampering, if you will. I just watched some Netflix and did this, and I love the way that it came out. Like, I don't know, you probably can't tell, but the coat is it's like a very thick coat, and it stays on so well. Excuse me, I just started coughing a ton. It's a very, very thick coat of polish, even with only 2 coats, but it feels like so secure to your nail, if that makes sense. And I did this like 4 or 5 days ago. I have no complaints whatsoever about the longevity, except for this finger, and it's starting to happen on my thumb. So it doesn't chip, but it does peel off, and I think part of this is my own fault, but this whole entire nail just like peeled straight off. And then you can see right on my thumb here, see this little flap? See what I mean? So I was saving that for this video. So it definitely peels off, but it says in the directions to like make sure you like coat the very edge of your nail with the polish, or to enhance the longevity. And I didn't really do that, it doesn't seem like, so it's probably my own fault and like user error. However, it came off in like a whole entire peel, so I kind of think that almost looks better than like chipping where you have like a tiny bit of nail polish on it. It's a little bit easier because now I can just start fresh, put 2 coats on, cure just this finger, or in this case now this finger, and I can peel the rest of this off really easily, and I can just fix these 2 nails no problem. But if you have time for it, I think it's 100% worth it, because my nails feel so smooth, and I know that this is not going anywhere. Like, I know that this is going to stay on for days and days and days without chipping. Like I said, it might peel, but I'm just going to do a better job next time. But I think that it's worth the time and the money to have your nails looking nice for like a week or more without having to retouch. So I think if you have it in your budget and you're kind of crazy about your nails looking nice, especially if you're engaged and you like to have pretty hands all the time because you have a pretty ring to show off like me, I definitely think that this is worthwhile. Like I said, you get 3 polishes, so you can definitely switch out, and you could use this light for any polishes. So you can definitely purchase polishes from Chrisley. They have a whole bunch of polishes listed that you can just buy by themselves on the website. But even if you have other gel polishes, you can still use this lamp, and the button's right there to turn on, which that's really cute because that's a little heart too. So it's pretty user friendly, and you can definitely, like I said, use this for other gel polishes that you have. So this is mostly, I think, what you're paying for. I mean, of course, the polishes as well, but I think that this is a good investment if you're getting into gel nail polish. This is kind of a good place to start and kind of get your collection going. Okay, guys, so that is everything for this video. I really hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much for being here and spending some time with me and getting ready with me. If you are wondering about any upcoming makeup launches or recently launched makeup, please head over to our blog, makeupfomo.com. It is always linked below. We would love for you to check it out. We just redid it and we're super proud of it. So definitely head over there if you want to peruse a little bit, maybe get some holiday gift ideas. We're covering a ton of that right now. And if you have any comments, please leave them below. I love interacting with you guys. If you would like to stick around and subscribe, I would love to have you. We have a ton of fun here. And until next time, I will catch you guys in our next video. Bye, guys.